rocket launcher in Doom
Yes.
SNES, right? It's
Yes.
buffed up more than the PC version. Was that
Why?
intentional and unintentional byproduct of something that you implemented or needed to change?
Both. It was intentional, but it was a side effect of not having access to any of the original id source data, resources. The engine, the technology was all developed completely independently.
Mm.
So everything that's in Doom for the SNES is based on observation of the PC version. Now sometimes I get the observations wrong, and one of them is there's two of them. One of them is the strength of the rocket launcher.
Yeah.
So the rocket launcher is more powerful in Doom for the SNES, and it works to, I think, that version's advantage because the monsters there's there's no infighting with the monsters,
They're more difficult. Yeah.
and they're more difficult because they sort of go straight towards you.
Yeah, they charge right at
Exactly.
you every time.
Yes, exactly. And so the gameplay was reviewed by id Software. It was reviewed by Sculptured Software's QA team, but it was also reviewed and they by id Software, and they provided feedback. So it was tweaked and it was adjusted because they knew that it was an original engine, and we couldn't just set the damage values to be exactly the same
Yes.
because there's no direct parallel like that when you compare the two engines. That they produce similar visual results, but it's sort of like comparing apples and oranges. They're both fruits, but they're different fruits, even though they're both sort of round, and from a distance they sort of look the same. For Doom for the SNES, there's a number of things that are born out of that um, reverse engineering how things work.
So did id Software just not notice it when they were, because they were playtesting it, I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming, right?
Yes,
And they just
yes.
didn't notice that the rocket launcher was more buff, or they just didn't care, or they thought it worked well for your version of the game?
I think it's the latter, that they felt that it worked well for the Super NES version of the game,
Right.
especially with the difficulty um, being higher in the Super NES version. Um, my recollection is that they thought that the weapons were balanced, and that the gameplay was a good approximation of the PC version.